crawling around, searching for higher ground. Can't see in front of.
Alright, to start this one off, I mixed the White Pro mixer with my regular BB cream to build a slightly paler base. Usually I use a brush or sponge to blend my foundations, but the Tarte BB cream seems to melt in my skin a bit better when using clean fingers to apply. I then followed that with an HD powder just to set everything.
'Cause I can fly.
Starting with an eyeshadow base, I then applied a dark green shadow that has a slight shimmer to it, and then just packed that on all over my lid. To try and avoid fallout as much as possible, I stuck to a patting motion instead of blending or sweeping the color across, and then I also carried it underneath my eye. With a green lighter than the one I started with, I patted that one as well, just above where I stopped the lid color, and then I did the same with a lime green on top of that, kind of creating a very over-the-top green smoky eye. To help give just a little bit more definition to the eye, I added some black shadow to the crease area. I used a powder puff under my eye to help with fallout, since black is a pretty brutal one to have fall onto your cheek. With a white highlighter, I highlighted the usual points of my face, including along the temples and forehead. And then to carry those green shades onto the face, I applied them in a similar way to bronzer, by going over the cheekbones, forehead, and jawline. First by starting with the lime green shadow, and then moving on to the darker one to make the color richer. For the brows, I just kept them really soft and filled them in with a taupe color, but I did make them more of a straighter brow than a super defined arched brow. Then using a black eyeliner pencil, I filled in my upper and lower waterlines. Using a white gel liner, I created a strong inner corner by laying down the white and setting it with powder. Then to add a bit of sparkle, I added some gold pigment above that and a champagne glitter underneath my bottom lashes. To finish up the eyes, I needed to go in with my black liquid liner. I applied a thin line along the top without adding a wing, and then using that liner, I started creating the fairy-like filigree along the side of my eye and on top of my lashes. Having a tiny brush like this one definitely helps in getting all the small details, and a lot of this is just making it up as you go. I tend to let the brush do a lot of the work, and I keep building on top of whatever I create. And of course, dots are mandatory to make anything look more intricate and magical. For the cheeks, I wanted it to create a bit more of a layered effect, so I started with NYX Vivid Liner in green, and just using the brush that comes with it, I applied vines and leaves in the exact same way as around my eyes. Like with any line work, your best friend for things like this is to move with confidence, even if it's entirely false confidence. And at the same time, if you do make mistakes, just try and embrace them and incorporate them into the design. I actually stumbled quite a bit creating this one, but I just played it off like I meant to do it, and it somehow worked out. As you can see here, after I finished with the green, I went to my Wolfe black hydra color and a thin paintbrush to create some bigger black vines on top of it. And then I even went back to the NYX liquid liner because it has a finer brush to do extra small little detailing. For the dots here, since they're in a larger area, I did use the Wolfe hydra color instead of the liquid liner so I could get a varying sizes and shapes. For the neck, I kept it simple by carrying the color down a bit and fading off. You could also carry the design down onto the neck, I just avoided it so the face was the main focus. Using Kat Von D's liquid liner in Requiem, I filled in my lips and then applied a pair of false lashes to my top lash line. Now, to bring this entire look together, the wig. This wig was actually provided by Arda Wigs for me to make this tutorial, and it was really amazing for them to do that. Probably about half of my wig collection is from Arda, and you have definitely seen them in previous videos. I added some braiding of my own to attempt a more fairy-like vibe. I will link to Arda's website down below, along with the wire elf ears that I'm wearing, and the crown I made myself, so there will be a DIY coming in the future for you guys. But that is it for my forest fairy tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next video.